What is going on, Bulls Nation? So right now, the Bulls are playing Memphis. I'm not even watching because I know they're going to lose anyway. But what I want to talk about is how Lonzo Ball is dragging the Bulls down right now. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to put my opinions right after this. All right, Bulls Nation. So we all know Lonzo is injured, and all that stuff. And it's unfortunate, right? Like, I'm not blaming the guy because he's injured. However, I'm blaming the guy for not disclosing this early on. And what I mean by that is, by around June, he got injured in January, got the procedure, and, like the debris cleaning and all that stuff. And then around by June, he said that he can't even walk or go up and down the stairs. Why wait till June? Why? I mean, you didn't notice that between January to June. So now everything got pushed back. He got another procedure done and all that stuff. And I'm all about not coming back when you're injured, right? You got to protect yourself. Why delay the process this long, though? And by doing this, he puts the Bulls in a bad predicament, because the Bulls does not have a generational talent on this team. So everything has to click. And one of them is a point guard, because how the Bulls are constructed is that they do have three good offensive players, but somebody needs to distribute them the ball. And somebody needs to put them in a position where they would score efficiently. Otherwise, they would take turns. And that's what happened this season. The coach supposedly is the one who's trying to remedy that, but we all know who Billy Donovan is. He depends on his point guard with Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul and Shea. He needs somebody like a floor general out there who can control the pace. And Ayo has done an admirable job on stepping in, but he is a second-year guard. He can't really command the type of respect with these veterans, and he does not have that. I would say he does have a high basketball IQ, but not like Lonzo. Lonzo knows the spots, he knows the angles, he knows when to pass you the ball. He just has the feel for the game. Now, Lonzo's not the only one who does have that. There's a lot of point guards out there, and we can acquire them. And this is where I would say Lonzo is holding the Bulls back. It's because of how big his salary is and how injured he is. We can't even trade a guy. Or we can't even trade for a point guard. Because if we do, there's a lot of point guards out there. But the ones who would fit this current mold, meaning with Levine, Vooch, and DeMar, you need a veteran point guard out there. And one name that always comes up that I thought was a perfect fit was Mike Conley. He fits exactly where the timeline is, which is 2 years. We don't need a young guy because our window is short. It just became shorter because of Lonzo's injury. And I hate the fact that Lonzo is wasting years off of these guys' prime, especially DeMar, because of not disclosing his injury. Well, we know his injury, but not disclosing the extent of the injury till June. He could have done the procedure at around April. Like after he made that procedure of cleaning up in January, 2 months later, something's not right. So why not say something, It does not make any sense. But now the Bulls are in a difficult position. If they trade for a point guard, for example, somebody like, there's D'Lo out there who's being shopped by Minnesota. He makes a lot of money, $30 million. The only trade that you can get for D'Lo basically is trading one of DeMar, Zach, and Vooch. Obviously not Vooch, they don't need a center, but you know what I mean, like if they get a third team, finagle their way around and all that stuff. But with that being said, you can't even commit to D'Lo, for example, even if you do get him, because you have Lonzo waiting for you. No one's going to trade for that guy now. I don't know. It seems like the market is not there, but you never know. So you can't really get a quality guard to replace him because, even with Ayo, his impending free agency, what are you going to do with him? Let him walk? You can't let him walk. Pay him because, if you pay Ayo, which is, I would want them to pay Ayo, but when is Lonzo going to come back? Are we going to invest $30 million, $35 million to 2 point guards? And Ayo, as much as I like him, I don't know if he's the answer for this current roster. Like, Ayo would be a good rebuilding piece with him and Pat Williams and all that stuff. So that's why I kind of want to have him stay. I really do. I love Ayo's game. But right now, we need a solution for that guard. And the two guards that I have in mind is like D'Lo, Conley. And Conley we can't even get. He's only making $24 million. But unless Utah is going to get Lonzo, which is a highly doubted, you can't even deal for the guy. Because if you do get him, he has another year in his contract. And then Lonzo comes back next year. Now you got two guards who makes $40 million. I don't know how the Bulls are going to approach this free agency or this trade deadline, because they got to address the point guard situation. We acquired Dragic, but obviously he's not the guard that you want. He's kind of slow now, and he doesn't really command that. His defense, along with the three other bad defenders already, it's not a good fit. But if you put Conley in there who can defend, and also D'Lo, that would alleviate, some of the pressure on Patrick Williams. Because right now, if you do that, Patrick Williams is the only guy who can defend. So there's a lot of things to unpack here because of the Lonzo situation. A lot. If he wasn't making that much, the Bulls could have made some moves. But right now, unless they actually do trade Lonzo, and if somebody takes Lonzo, and if you were the Bulls, you're in a crossroads as well, right? Like, are you going to trade Lonzo now? What if he gets better next year? You already waited a year. You might as well wait another year, right? Like, it's only a few months. But what if he's not ready? There's so many question marks with this guy. Me personally, he's labeled as an injury prone now. You can't trust the guy's knee. If I can cut my losses, I'll just trade a guy. But I don't know what the Bulls are going to do. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen this trade deadline. They might stand pat. And if they do, I don't even blame them. But thank you for watching. If you're a Bulls fan, please subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comment down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.